What's up, homies? We're back with another episode, episode 50-something. I know we're close to the 6-0, so
59 maybe?
58 or 59, something like that, right there.
It's right there, right there, right around 58, 59.
Buddy,
Don't correct us if I'm wrong.
Buddy, I like your shades. You're rocking the shades, brother.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I've got that. I'm rocking that Lamar Jackson vibe right now with the visor.
Man, we haven't recorded for about a couple weeks. You know, we decided to release the vlog finally.
The vlog.
You know, and last week it was scorching hot. I was not about to do a podcast outside scorching hot.
Yeah, it got pretty hot out last week.
Scary hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You've been gone for the whole week too.
Yep. Went on a little vacation back up to Minnesota.
Without me.
With the girly friend.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah, I was stuck down here fucking painting and just working, and yeah. I had an interesting week myself.
It was really nice on Tuesday up there, but Wednesday, Thursday it was really rainy, but we still did everything we wanted to do pretty much, and
that's good.
Found out there's an up-down bar in Minneapolis.
Yeah, you know, I saw that you tagged or something, or she put a post, and I was like, is that the same one? I looked into it, I'm like, sure as shit.
Yeah, apparently they're a chain, and I actually I should have snapped you too, but I snapped Robbie when we got there. I'm like, there's an up-down in Minneapolis.
He probably knew about it.
He did know about it, because he's like, yeah, there's one in Denver too.
Oh, now you know to bring your coins next time.
Yeah, I know. And she ended up getting a bunch of coins, and it was fun. It's nice. Like, oh, that's something we can do. I think we went there Thursday night, but yeah. So it was a good time. Minnehaha Falls. Minnehaha Falls Park. It's a regional park. That place was really cool. If we go back up there, we got to go back there. There's super cool, like, nature trails.
You know,
waterfall.
I saw her picture she put.
Yeah.
I just noticed something. Every time we're in a nature scene, you always put your leg up like this. You're always leaning on your leg. And I just think that's the funniest thing.
No, I told her to do that because it recreated the one we did in Oregon. That wasn't at Minnehaha. That was at Wood Lake, which was another cool place. Tuesday, it was nice out. That's when we did all our outdoor shit, because that was going to be the only nice day, and it was beautiful outside. So we went to 2 parks, had a hell of a time. But Minnehaha, there's like a little like shack up on the hill a little bit from the river, and you can go. They have like a seafood restaurant. They have you can get sandwiches. You can get a beer while you're there.
Okay,
like, it's pretty legit, man. Like, and you could almost go there for the whole day if you wanted. It's such a big park and so much fun.
I was just telling Maya, like, we need to go somewhere, because it kind of sucks sometimes. You know, you get too busy.
Yeah.
And you feel like you've been cooped up for a while. It's like.
Yeah.
And then you look at the finances, like, I don't know, but you know. We like to save more than what we should, but
I mean, as long as you save, I mean, and you live within your means, you can afford to do a little trip every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know?
I said, hey, let's go to the Sandhills. She's like, the Sandhills? Where the fuck are the Sandhills? I was like, you know, you're from the state, you should know. Really? I'm like, the Black Hills. You mean the Black Hills, not what the fuck is the Sandhills? I'm thinking of Atkinson area, and I know Marty's gonna hear this. She's gonna laugh, but I actually went to somewhere on yesterday for work called Sandhills Renewable Energy, so must have work on my mind today.
You had that Sandhills on the mind,
I guess. No. So before my week was quite interesting. Let's see here. Monday. It was just another Monday at work. I also want to say, if you hear stuff in the background, there is a street dance going on downtown. I don't live too far away, but pay no mind.
Right on Main Street in Pierce.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Tuesday, it was just rained a lot.
Yeah.
I think, no, did it rain Tuesday?
Not where we were.
I feel like the beginning of the week it was really rainy. Yeah. Tuesday. I don't know. I'm getting mixed up now, but we had a lot of rain. It went from being scorching hot to a lot of rain, like about 2 inches up here. But so Wednesday rolls around. So I was going to a town called Ewing for my route, and I get to the turn where I need to go, and these two motorcyclists take the turn, and one guy about ate shit off his bike. I got out, helped him.
Damn.
And, I'm trying to ask them if they're okay. They're just, like, not talking to me. I'm like, okay, I hope they know English. Like, not trying to be, like, anything like that.
Right.
They just weren't saying anything. And he started talking to me, and he sounded Canadian. I'm like, oh, shit. He had a thick Canadian accent.
Yeah.
And then I looked at his plate, and he was from where I was from. So small world, right?
Yeah.
And he was asking me questions and stuff like that. We kind of, bullshitted for a few minutes, and I had to go, and he had to go. And he's like, yeah, I met it back up there. My daughter's in the football league, so I don't know if he was talking about soccer or tackle football. He was actually going where I was from, so that was kind of cool to hear.
Wow.
And then what else happened? So later that day, I get to another stop in Atkinson, actually, called Aglan. Aglan, never seen this happen, and then all of a sudden 2 dogs appear. One you could tell was a mama dog, and then the other one looked like a Rottweiler type. I was trying to get to pet it, and it's starting to get mad. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to fight a dog. I don't really like doing that, but man, I was ready to just
yeah,
give it the business.
I mean, if it's gonna be a really aggressive dog, I mean, you got to defend yourself somehow.
But what I did, I said, yeah, I'm not messing with this, and I went in the truck.
Yeah.
And so then I'm leaving Ainsworth, and get about the Long Pine area, and I'm about 2-3 hours away from Norfolk now. And I shit you not, I was on the phone with Chris at the construction stop, just seeing how he was doing and seeing how his route was going. And they started going on the one lane, and the pickup in front of me was a flatbed where you could put like some hay on it. And you can hear the dunk, 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 like on a tire. And then we're outside of Long Pine, and all of a sudden I hear, boom!
Oh, shit.
Blew out right in front of me and scared the shit out of me. I was out there. I was driving like, my truck was like Barry Sanders out there, dodging and weaving. Okay? There was something in the air flying towards me. I was like, skirt! And I was telling Maya that night, I said, you know what? The shit I've seen today, it'll be unbelievable to some. I was like, this is where I need to get a camera or something.
Yeah.
But on that, Thursday and Friday was all right. Friday was yesterday.
At least you're okay.
Yeah.
After all that stuff.
I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes this crazy shit always happens to me.
That's a lot of crazy shit in just a few days.
Yeah. Well, that Wednesday was all one day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
But, knowing me, I just somehow, and all the weird stuff comes to me.
It does.
But
it finds its way to you.
And I enjoy it. I really do.
Keeps things interesting.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's nothing else much going on for me. We drank with Zach last weekend.
We did. That was fun.
With the Agent Life, their main Agent Life guy. So.
Yep.
Vance was not there. He was out of town, and you met Nick for the first time.
Not for the first time. I've met him before, but like it's the first time I've ever actually like talked to the guy.
Pretty good dude.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
And then Frosh.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yep. And then we got Zach's wife Kai. She's awesome.
I just think it's funny how it always ends up with push-ups for me.
Yeah, I just think that's your party thing. Your party trick.
Well, then everyone wants to try and do it.
I did it.
You did do it.
I did 10.
Zach didn't.
And he's the one that started it.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so anyway, we're just kind of bullshitting here. But before we started here, our episodes, we actually recorded some shorts. So excited to get those out this next week.
Yeah.
But no, today I think what we're going to do is we're going to run it back to what we were doing the last episode because we got it cut short due to rain. I don't think it's going to rain tonight, maybe or maybe not. I just saw a chance, but
not
until later.
Yeah,
it's clear. It's clear.
Not anytime soon.
The sky is clear, man.
Yeah.
Little breeze, going on. Kind of nice. Out. Other than last week.
It's a nice evening. Yeah, yeah. The wind last week felt like the blow dryer.
Dude, today I got done.
It felt like the blow dryer outside.
Oh, before we get into the actual episode, I just gotta say this quick, dude. So they had a parade down my street today.
Oh yeah.
I kept telling I think there's a parade today. I think I really gotta mow my yard because it was dry as shit, and then it rained a lot, and then it greened up, and it's like, oh shit, it does not look good at all. And
so you had to hurry up and fucking mow before the parade.
Well, I thought there wasn't a parade today, and I'm about on the right side of front of my house. Yeah. And I seen cars a little bit, and then I saw some. This is where I know, and this is where I texted Maya. I was like, "Yeah, there's a parade today," and she's out of town tonight. And I texted her. I said, "Yeah, I think there's a parade," and I sent her a picture. I said, "You know how I know?" She's like, "How?" The chairs. They put their people sit on the yards in the front. Yeah. I'm like, the fucking chairs. And she thought that was the funniest thing. They
just started like plopping lawn chairs down in your yard while you were mowing.
Well, no, it was over. So there was a lot of the old people. People are the early birds, so they want to get their spot. Right. And I'm like, dude, so my mower is actually broken. I'm borrowing my buddy Braden's. And he has that self-propel down to where you go slower. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there trying to like go lean a little forward to kind of go a little faster. By the end of it, I was just like done, ready for a nap. Yeah. It was hot. I got a little sunburn on top of my arms. I was wearing a cutoff. Yeah. It was good exercise. Yeah. Drenched in sweat, but
mowing. Yeah, it's good. That's how I felt today. I just felt tired all day long. Yeah. Driving so much the last few days.
Well, shit, even last weekend when we were just hanging out, just, taking a little break, that was fun.
That was fun.
I like doing that stuff. Yeah. And like I said, I actually enjoyed my meal for once. Not saying that's a bad thing, but like I actually took the time to eat it because I'm a fast eater. But all right, we're getting off topic. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, everyone should know us by now. That's what we do. Yeah. And we just talk and we talk and we talk. Okay, where were we last week? Last episode, we were talking about. I know we left off on addiction versus choice. Do you want to pick off of that and go from there, or do you want to just kind of
addiction versus choice?
Yeah, addiction versus choice. Right. Like some people are choosing, some people are because I feel like we're into it.
Well, I guess I'll just dive right into it. When it comes to addiction versus choice, in my opinion, every addiction starts out not in my opinion, this is fact. Every addiction starts out as a choice.
You know what I'm thinking right now?
What?
And I know what your answer is going to be, or response.
What?
The way you're sitting with the sunglasses and you're saying that, everyone's going to be like, the fuck this guy know,
Oh, yeah, I know. Get a job.
Get a job. Yeah. Vortex Dinosaur.
Yeah, my name's Vortex Dinosaur on YouTube.
Get a job. Looks boring.
It looks really boring. Get a job.
Buddy.
Okay, Vortex Dinosaur.
Anyway, going on. Oh, sorry.
Get out of your mom's basement.
Sorry. Before we move on, I just want to make a little side note here, too. I never told you, or I did tell you, Creepbuster, local celebrity, I guess.
You did tell me. Yeah.
So our local celebrity, Creepbuster, he's a guy who busts pedophiles, I guess, which is a good thing. But his
he blocked you.
He blocked me because me being a smart ass, and it's nothing.
He was sinking.
He has a theory that people are sinking and then gang stalk. It's a whole thing. Look it up. And we talk about mental health a lot, and that's what we're doing here now. And I hope he gets the help he needs, but I don't know what it is.
Well, the thing is
if he's fried or not.
In order to get the help you need, you have to be accepting of the help, and he doesn't think he has a problem.
People try to offer
Everyone
help.
else has the problem.
Well, joke's on him. He could block me all he wants. I could go still see his stuff.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, but
anyway. No, yeah, that's, I mean, again, like, I mean, trolling him on the internet, he kind of asks for it.
Oh, yeah, he always does.
He's the one going online, making a fool of himself.
Yeah.
Saying that people are gain stalking him.
Especially, I mean, we've had our encounter with him downtown before. We were just driving around.
Slight, yeah.
We had her driving around in my pickup, and windows were down. He looked you dead in the face. He said, "You want to know what's fucked up?" Started walking towards us, and I just started driving.
Yeah. But, well, it has to do with like white vehicles, but now it's just like
it's any vehicle.
It's any color. Vehicle that like pulls up to the intersection at the same time.
Yeah.
That he's walking there, like that. Yeah. That just happens. Like
he's always asking for money every day. That's what bugs me the most.
People will tell him to get a job, and he'll say he'll apply for jobs, and they won't hire him.
Actually, no, he has a job. No.
Where?
What he's doing online. That's his job.
Okay, well, at that point though, no one will hire him given his reputation.
Yeah. No. Anyway, let's just move on from that. I don't want to kind of just spiral down his thing,
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't really need the time of day on the show. So.
No, but.
Just me being a troll.
You brought it up, so
I know. I'm just. Yeah. I just want to bring up my troll self out for a second.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, just going back to the addiction and choice. Every addiction starts out as a choice, and then it's really on you to whether it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
Whether it's healthy or unhealthy. I mean, if it's healthy, wouldn't necessarily call it an addiction. It's more of just like a.
It's crazy. A lot of people will fight anybody when they try to claim this stuff, addiction versus choice. I know a lot of people fight that. They always want to argue it.
It's crazy.
And the typical argument is, well, this guy smoked weed and it led him into cocaine, which I think it could.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's a gateway to harder shit because they chose to start smoking weed.
Yes.
They became addicted to it. I don't care what anyone says. You can get addicted to weed. Yeah. I remember back when I was in high school, again, like you have friends, you have people in your group that start doing stupid shit. They start smoking weed, whatever. And then they're like, oh, you can't get addicted to it. It's non-addictive. It's a plant. It's like, what? Like, you can get addicted to literally anything.
You know what my theory on that? I think everyone was all... You saw a lot more, like, ads and stuff against weed. But, like, when the government first legalized Colorado,
mm-hmm.
I was kind of skeptical. You can call me all you want, but crazy, whatever. I don't necessarily disagree with weed.
I'm not an advocate, or I'm not against it.
Right.
100%.
But what I will say is, though, I just think it's kind of odd that the government said, hey, weed's legal, and all of a sudden they want to tax it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I've been told is that the drugs that are sold in Colorado, these stores that are,
Question. Do you know, is it legal up in Minnesota? Because when we were up there this past week, we smelt it hardcore at some places.
I think it is. I think they just made it legal.
Especially at Minnehaha.
That don't surprise me.
And at Up Down.
That really don't surprise me.
But yeah. I mean, I'm not totally against it. I'm just more like,
I think
a little weed once in a while, go for it. I don't personally.
I think weed can fuck you up.
But
I think
it's on you if
yes,
it becomes a gateway drug to harder shit.
My thing is, I think weed, they're not saying what they're actually saying. I think, because now they're finding studies that weed is doing this and weed's doing that. And it's like, but yet we're still praising the shit out of weed. It's still crazy to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do think that weed can lead into other drugs. I just think it's that person's choice and it depends who it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known people that do from weed to acid to fucking meth.
It becomes how self-reliant they are on the high. You know what I mean? Like, they start smoking weed and they're like, oh, I need to get high.
And what's bad?
I need to get high. I can't function unless I'm high.
What's bad is if these dealers are lacing their shit.
And then it's like, and then they want the next stronger thing.
Yeah.
So they move on to stronger stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just and then that, eventually, it leads into like meth or whatever.
Are you smoking the devil's lettuce?
Like weed is very elementary compared to a lot of this other stuff.
Yeah. And weed has evolved. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Weed has really evolved to like different strands and, it's not just your regular green stuff. It's like purple and green and yellow and green and orange and green.
I don't know that much about it, but I know it can be like different colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Different strains, basically.
It can be very deadly.
Yeah, well, that synthetic stuff is very deadly.
Yeah, and like I just said that too.
I think it's called K2.
Yeah, and I think there's stronger stuff than K2 now.
That stuff I've heard that stuff can put holes in your brain.
Yeah, I've heard there's stronger stuff than K2 now.
Jesus.
So. And I don't care what anybody says. I think fentanyl's a drug. And I've fought people on that one for fucking years. They're like, oh, no, it's just something to make a drug. No, you touch it, you die.
No.
And people fucking smoke it, snort it, whatever. And meth is still a big killer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that will go away. But anyway, yeah, I just, people could be like, and it's just not weed, it could be other things like, no, I don't know, because like I want to use this example. I'm not going to I think could be maybe sound hypocritical.
But on that same token too is like people can choose to do this and become addicted and fall down that hole. It doesn't mean they're a bad person, and that's why they offer recovery for this stuff.
Right.
And I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, take that recovery seriously. If you relapse, okay, you relapse. Get back on the wagon.
Well, actually, speaking of that, I just saw... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, be intentional with your recovery. Don't just be...
wishy-washy.
Right. Like, don't just be like, oh, once I'm done with this, I'm going to go back to my old ways. Because I've known people like that.
Right.
An old friend of mine did that, and it's just like, dude...
I know people that do that, too.
What are you doing with your life? But you have to see it through. I mean, you can't keep getting in your own way, and it's hard. I know it's hard.
Well, when I was interrupting you by accident, I came across this TikToker. This guy was clean for 12 years, and I think he just whenever he's traveling these states, or I think he's home base on one, but he has a lot of money for his company. He'll go find homeless people there, and he'll ask them, are you wanting to get clean? Are you ready to come off the streets? If it's a no, that's fine. They're not ready. And if it's yes, then he'll fly with them to Florida to a rehab center, and he'll check up on them. That's the stuff I like seeing on TikTok.
And that's huge because like, take him to the best of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take him to Florida. And
the guy
if they're willing to put in the work, then that's awesome.
When the guy was clean, when he came back and he was clean, he asked him, what do you want to do? I want to go jump in the ocean. And he jumped full clothed in there.
Yeah.
And I think that was a great reward, Oh, yeah. Work for it,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a touchy topic, for some. And I get that. My mom and I don't agree that we did agree to disagree on it. So I just avoided talking about that stuff with her.
On recovery and stuff?
No, on addiction versus choice. Because she has the argument like, oh, well, if I was depressed, is it my choice? But I don't know if that would be the right...
Like if she had depression?
If someone would be depressed, right?
That's still your choice.
Right.
Like, it's still your choice. No one's forcing you to do it. Even if you say it's your depression or your anxiety. Like,
I don't think it's just your body just
reacting.
Like,
you can feel that way, but ultimately it's still your choice. I'm gonna die on that hill. I'll die on that hill. You can debate me all you want, but you're not gonna sway me.
I like to think that, and I know you probably get those ways where you feel really upset or something's just, but some days you gotta look at it, you gotta move on.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sad for a few days. And, and this is where I agree with somebody, is only person that can change it is you.
The thing is it comes down to holding yourself accountable and being responsible for your actions.
Right.
Whether you're depressed, whether you're whatever,
yeah.
You're still responsible for your own actions, and it's still everything you do is your choice. I don't care if you're depressed, drunk, high, whatever. It might be a poor choice, but it's still your choice.
And
it's not anyone else's choice but yours, unless
I've met people that, like you said, getting high, getting drunk, where the next day, you know what, they put it down and like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
And I respect those people that stay clean and they do that.
Yeah.
There's times, you know how much I like to drink beer, but I don't do it all the time.
No.
But there's days I actually just want to completely stop drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
But that's just, I don't know.
I will say this. I know with my experience with that stuff, it's one of those where I've experimented like in the past, like when I was young in high school and stuff, and it just didn't feel the same way as some of these other people in my friend group did. And I was like, it's just not for me. Not for me. And when it comes to drinking, I've never had a big enough problem to be like, well, I don't drink at all.
You don't, it's like, we talked about before. We don't need to come home every day and drink.
Right.
Maybe every once in a while.
I like to have a few beers once in a while with the boys, special occasion,
yeah. But
whatever.
There's sometimes like tonight I had a beer. It was hot as shit today. I had a beer.
Yeah. But no, I don't need to come home every day after a long day.
I know people.
Be like, oh, I need 5 beers. I don't even need a beer. I don't. But that, and that's the thing is it's never been a problem. I've never had a drinking problem, so I don't feel the need to cut it out completely. Yeah. If I want to treat myself to a beer or an alcoholic beverage once in a while, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm a grown ass man.
The way I look at it, it's it's just like pop. Do I really need it?
Right. You don't need it, but once in a while, it's like
treat yourself.
Treat yourself. It's not gonna kill you to do it once in a while, especially if you live an overall healthy lifestyle.
Just the other day at work, we were talking about something. I think it was food related or drinking related, and I don't know what got brought up, but they said that, oh, I want to drink this or whatever, blah blah blah. And I said, I know it's something someone brought up that might kill you. I said, yeah, the way I look at it, no matter what you drink or eat at this point, no matter what you do, is gonna kill you. I said you might as well just do it.
It's funny because there's people that literally go out to the bars and get wasted drunk and high as shit.
Every day.
Every weekend, every day. But then, I open one energy drink and all of a sudden everyone's a doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get real, people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I tend not to listen to those people that, I look at with diabetes, I look for the people with the experience with it, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
a lot of times the people that try to call me out for eating or drinking something that isn't necessarily the most healthy for what, they look at me, they're like, oh, he works out. He must only eat and drink super healthy. But then they see me eating or drinking something not totally healthy. And then they'll try to, call me out on it. Sometimes jokingly, but it's like, dude, it's usually someone that has no room to talk.
At least you ain't no fake influencer that just puts up a front to be what you are.
Right. They say they do this, and this, and then behind the scenes, it's not even close to that.
And then someone catches them and they're in the act, and it's like, oh, this guy ain't real at all. Look at Liver King.
Yeah.
He looks in rough shape right now. I mean, he just got arrested for threatening Joe Rogan, but he was fake.
Yeah, Liver King was juiced to the gills.
He was a joke. He was a very big joke.
There's no way you get that physique from eating raw liver and doing whatever the fuck other weird stuff he does.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from addiction and choice. again, and we're still talking about this mental health or just whatever, along the lines, because we like doing these serious conversations.
Yeah.
What is another controversial thing that people talk about, or I guess what is something that isn't talked about enough? Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, I know one. This past month of June, I actually saw some female people on TikTok making fun of men's mental health.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's been kind of a ongoing trend.
Yeah.
Specifically this month, like this year of this month.
And this month is Gay Pride Month. Nothing against that.
Right. No.
What was I going to say? So, but it's all these feminists that are making these videos. And I'm gonna fucking be the first one to say it. I fucking cannot stand at a feminist.
Feminist.
Yes. I say it wrong all the time, but a feminazi. What I would call them. I think God put us on this earth to be equal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say here right now, and right now only, there's 2 genders. Right?
That's what I believe.
But
also, I'm also a believer that do what makes you happy. Whatever gender you believe you are, whatever. Do what makes you happy. Just don't. There's no need to make a big scene about it, or get in people's face about it.
And
do what you want. Like if you identify as a fucking
helicopter
piece of plywood, good for you, buddy. Like
that's,
I'm all for.
So what you're saying is, if you want to identify as a plywood, you're still a male to you. You're still a male to him. Or no, he says he's a piece of plywood, right?
Right.
But to your eyes, he's like a man.
He's just a regular human being.
Or a female.
Regular human being, whether a male or a woman. But at the end of the day, if they want to identify as whatever, cool. And if they're serious, if they're actually serious, hey, whatever helps you sleep at night. I mean, I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to
cause issues. And
right.
This is probably the only time you're going to hear us talk about this.
If you're a transgender, good for you. That's honestly
if that's what you wanted to do, that's what you wanted to do.
Right.
Just don't be the one that throws it.
Do I personally believe in that? No. But am I going to make you feel like shit? No. Because you're still a human being.
It's just like politics, right?
And you still deserve to be happy.
It's just
and I'm still going to treat you with respect.
Right. It's just like
it's the right thing to do.
It's just like politics,
Right.
It's basically what I go with.
Yeah.
I don't care what side you're on. I respect both opinions. If you can be respectful to me and respect mine, that'd be great. But if you don't agree with me, I'm not going to go say oh, fuck
I'm not
going to
sit here and argue. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you for 30 minutes.
Yeah. But
I believe there's only 2 genders.
Yeah.
But again, if you identify as something other than male or female, good, that's awesome. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm still, I'm proud of you. I still have respect for you. And I hope you live in a happy, amazing life. I wish nothing but the best for you. I don't believe in that. But again, I'm not going to sit here and make you feel like shit.
Don't abuse it, I guess I would say. There's people that get it and just abuse it.
Right. And they have to because then see, even if I said something like that, very non what's the word I'm thinking of? Very non-argumentative.
Yeah,
very just trying to keep the peace. They would still be oh, then you're not a supporter if you don't believe in it. It's one of those. And it's just whatever. I'm just going to do my thing. I don't know.
Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about that brought up the genders. So back to what we were talking about with, these females making these videos, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
the reason I was getting at the men, God created you, whatever, right?
Yeah. men's mental health.
You have the same feelings as the next guy or the next female, the next woman. But I just don't like how a female... Oh, this is going to sound bad. Yikes. I think if a female and a male feel the same, like, or have the same emotions or can have the same emotions, they should be able to express it. You know, the females get to express it more than what a man can, I guess. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I'm kind of planted there in old school beliefs of like, you don't talk poorly about women.
No.
And you don't touch a woman.
Nope.
Never. But at the same time, it's got to be respectful on both ends too.
Yeah. And I'll stand with that right there, brother.
I feel like men's mental health is something that has been
disregarded,
ignored over a long period of time. And the fact that some women out there on social media are making fun of it is pretty shitty. It is.
It's a pretty sad deal.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a lot of men's suicide that people don't talk about. And I'm sure there's a lot with women. Don't get me wrong.
But I'm pretty sure the percentage is higher in men. Yeah. It is.
And it's just not because, you know, men, we're bad about good.
The fly hit my forehead. Well, the thing is men are expected to be providers. They're expected to, you know, be the breadwinner. They're expected to.
I think what hurts us is
they're expected to be manly and not show a lot of emotion. They're expected to be, you know, all this, like, do all this stuff and not show emotion and just be like just this stoic person that just works, provides money, provides for their family, and isn't supposed to show emotion or be, you know, sad and stuff like that about things. Like, they're just supposed to be a man and be tough.
Pride.
Right.
You know. I'm not going to say names, but you and I know who is really what you just described. I'm not going to say their names.
Well, yeah, but
anyway.
I mean, I know a ton of people like that,
yeah.
but, and I'm probably like that to a fault.
I'm going to agree with that. I pride will get in my way sometimes, but
it's one of those where it's like, we're still humans, you know, we're still human beings, and we still have every right to have mental health, like be vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable and available to talk about our mental health.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's real. And that's the reason for those, you talked about suicides.
Yeah. And, you know, and kind of going back to that pride thing, you know, you're in a new relationship, right? So,
right.
Have you guys been able to, like, express each other's feelings about stuff that has happened?
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure Marty probably has, because what I've, you know, from knowing her, she seems like she could be very open about that.
I'll say one thing. Me and her don't like to tell a whole lot about like our personal things to other people. Right. Even though you're my brother, you're my best friend.
Right.
There's just certain things we don't talk about to other people.
Right.
But I will say this, our communication is great with each other.
Good.
And
is it always going to be great? No, but
I mean, we'll have our hiccups, we'll have our bumps in the road.
I had one today with mine. So.
It's the best communication I've ever experienced in a relationship, and the most integrity I've ever experienced in a relationship. 100%.
Good.
I mean, we're both, I mean, she is 30. I'm almost 30. We're both at an age where it's like, we're done playing games. You know, we're ready to like move forward with our lives and be serious about this, you know? So, yeah.
That was a good response. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really opening up the can that I love it, huh? And we're not even drinking.
No. Water.
Gotta stay hydrated.
I did have a beer before I came over.
I did too.
Had some left over from last weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, so no, it's kind of nice to kind of talk about this stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I respect you for saying what you said, because what your guys' business all the time is not my business.
Right.
As being your best friend and everything,
yeah,
I don't need to know.
Me and her have a great communication there, where it's like certain things just stay between us.
Right.
Like there's just certain things we don't go yapping to other people about.
Of course.
It's sacred. It stays within the relationship. That's it.
Yeah. I don't like people that just tell everyone everything.
Relationship gossip is not. No.
Yeah. With Maya and I, we had our communication is pretty good for the most part. Except for like today, there was a little hiccup there because of communication. I sometimes, I'll admit my fault live on this, and sometimes I don't listen. I thought I heard her one day.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I'm going to blame my ADD, and people will be like, oh, you just blame ADD, but shit happens. I'm not going to explain what happened. Communication kind of, it's good, but we'll have the little hiccups there, and it's like, oh, shit. But, however, I've been with Maya for about, 9 years? Because we've been together since, actually, our anniversary is next week for 9 years.
Well, you guys started dating in 2016?
July 5th.
Yeah.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, so 9 years.
Yeah.
I just personally, I've been in a lot of, I guess if you want to call them talking stages, or people call them situationships these days, where bad communication led to the demise of what we had going on.
Yeah.
Like communication is literally everything, in my opinion. Like that's number one.
Yeah.
Communication and respect.
Yeah. What I like about my fiance, but I call her my wife because, and a lot of people, there's some people that don't like it I do that, because of bio reasons, and I understand that and I respect that. But at a point, we've been together for so long.
Yeah, you have. I mean, there gets to be a point where like you've been together for so long, and sometimes you will forget certain things, but you can't. In my opinion, you can't ever lose what made it special. You can't lose that spark. Right. You have to keep that spark. You have to keep doing the little things.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about what I'm gonna actually do for the 5th next week, because it'd be our anniversary. But what was I gonna say? What was I talking about? Oh, what I like about Maya is, for being together with her, because she is, I'm gonna be honest with you, she's my third girlfriend.
Yeah.
So in high school, I didn't
date much in high school either.
Nah, and no disrespect to the people I graduated with and anything. I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
And everyone had somebody. And I just didn't. Yeah, there was some people that cause issues, and it's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, Norfolk's weird.
And I was never perfect in the high school either, and I don't want to talk about that. But what was I gonna say? Maya has been the first person that I can actually. I guess, she's a listener.
Yeah.
Some days I might not like her response to issues I'm dealing with, but she's pretty blunt about. Yeah, she's pretty blunt about her answers.
Yeah.
And she gets it from her mother. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Her mother's pretty stern. And you know what? And I guess I'll admit this is, I'm not really realistic sometimes. Right. Sometimes. She's very realistic, and she tries to make me see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I would do anything for her.
Yeah, I know you would.
I try to teach her stuff. She tried to teach me stuff, and
that's important when you can become involved in each other's passions.
Yeah.
Like me and Mary are both involved in each other's passions, and like
yeah, I can tell you that right now. She's really involved in your gym stuff,
and what we do. She's very involved in my gym stuff, but I'm really trying to be more involved in her art stuff, and even like her photography stuff. So yeah, and you know, you said Maya's only your third girlfriend you've ever had.
Something like that.
And Mary's only really the second serious relationship.
Something be like rookie numbers.
Yeah, second. Well, we're talking like relationships, like serious relationships, not like everyone that, you know. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But she's really only the second serious relationship I've ever been in.
Well, good.
So.
Well, it was kind of funny. She asked me last week how we were sitting at Fender. She's like, well, how early is too early to move in with each other? I said, well, Maya and I moved in within a month or two. So,
yeah, that's true. You did.
I actually moved up there.
You packed up and moved up to Sioux Falls.
I remember that day. You and I got together. I said, hey, man, I'm moving. You're like, what?
We had one last meal at Subway.
Yeah, the meth house. The meth house, yeah. That's an inside.
The meth lab.
Yeah, that's our inside joke. We were addicted to Subway at one point. Like
meth. Want to get meth?
Yeah.
And we'd always know.
And we just talked about drugs and shit. That's funny. No, you know.
Well, we just talked about it because it was such a problem in Norfolk and still is to this day. So,
Jesus fucking Christ.
What? It's funny.
You want real meth, go to fucking Stanton County, I guess. But, fireworks going off here.
Yes.
What I was going to say is, that firework just
boom.
Ruined my trace of thought here. Oh, shit. I hate when this happens to me. Fuck.
So wait, we were talking about...
I was going to say more stuff about Maya. So...
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to, like, somewhat important stuff, I'm going to need Maya there. I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Like, if she was there for my eye appointment, I probably wouldn't have fucking spent so much money that I did.
Yeah.
I spent about $1,000-ish.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd they get you? How would her being there have helped with that?
She probably would have helped me, made me understand it. What they were trying to do.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Then because that's
right.
a whole.
No, yeah,
shit. That was a whole.
That's good though that she can help you with that. I mean,
with that stuff, and I remember. Okay, so you brought up passions, right?
Yeah.
There is something that she's really passionate about, and that is Edmonton Oilers hockey. I love it. She's kind of getting me back into hockey again more, and I like it. I try to pay attention, but she is my news ticker for hockey, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Would I like to talk about it on the podcast? Yeah, but I don't have anybody that wants to talk about it, so I'm trying to work a deal with Jared, okay?
Jarrett, fuck you.
Damn, he's gonna text
me. Your
me.
takes suck.
He's gonna text me. He's gonna text me on Monday and tell me. I can't believe Sam say that. You should here's a hot take, Jarrett.
Here's a hot take, Jarrett. Jaguars are going 0-18 this year.
Anyway,
17.
you know how you said you're trying to get into art stuff,
right?
I sometimes feel like that's Maya with the podcast, which is fine. I want to find something that she would like to do.
Yeah,
I don't want to just throw it at her.
Right, you don't want to throw a bunch of work at her.
Yeah,
and then feel like you're stressing her out and then have it weigh on your relationship.
She is my go-to person before anybody I ask, does this look good?
Yeah.
And then I make my way down the line.
Yeah.
She's really good at her job. She works at a bank, so she's really good with money.
Well, she's freaking climbed the ladder there.
Yeah, she told me the other day, she's like, if she would ever get fired or whatever, She said that her boss would walk out.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, that's
she's an asset then to that place.
Oh yeah. She does what she does.
That's good.
We actually talked about it today. I said, "What would you do would you ever want to move to Omaha?" And she's like, "I'm sorry, but I would pick my job over Omaha."
Really?
And I said, "You know what? I'm okay with that." And you know what she said? That she's like, "I don't think you would leave me." I said, "All right. You must know me too damn well."
You wouldn't leave her.
No, I like what we got going on. And again, I'm not the perfect or teacher husband. I'm gonna be honest. And
no one's perfect.
I have my days at work, and a typical.
No, but we all deserve someone to
vent to,
make us feel happy, and to enjoy life with, and make memories with, and
we
just got to find the right person.
What I like about her and I, we can actually vent to each other about stuff.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, it's important. And, like your partner should be your best friend too.
Yep. And really. when I vent, and she listens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nothing about my relationship.
She seems like a very caring person.
She's aight. No, I'm kidding. Nah, she's pretty good. Love everything about her.
Yeah.
Boom. Trying to think what else here, because we talked about relationships. Really, you want to talk about friendship stuff?
Sure.
Okay. Because we're on the topic of this, spiraling down of these kind of things that need to be talked about.
Yeah.
We started off with addiction and choice, but that was we need to finish that up from the last episode.
Right.
But friendships. And I can go on about this one. I don't know if I really should, but
yeah.
I just got to choose what I say wisely. I love all my friends.
I would do, if you're someone that's really close to me, like if you're a close friend, I go to bat for my friends. I'm there for my friends.
Yeah, same.
Close friends and family mean a lot to me. Loyalty is huge to me.
Hell, there's friends on video games that I've known for years, and I would go to the bat for them.
Yeah.
If they were to put me down as a job reference and they're in Boston, you bet your ass I'll fucking answer for them. I got friends all over the fucking country.
If you're a loyal person, like if you're loyal to me, like that's huge.
Yeah.
If you keep it real, if you're as cool if you're as cool behind my back as you are to my face, I respect that more.
Well, fuck, I think out of your friends for lifting competitions, I think I've went to most of them.
Oh yeah.
Thought about that the other day, actually.
And that's huge. And that's another thing is Kale is about as real. He's the realest friend I've ever had.
That's me.
I mean, if I had to pick like my top 3 like friends, it'd be Kale and my brothers. Like my actual my actual blood brothers. Like you guys are my top 3. No specific order, but like that's how close it is, Like no one else is gonna fly to Oregon with me for Worlds. Like that's just and the thing is too is like unlike other close friends I've had in the past. There's 2 that come to mind. You know who they are. I've talked about them plenty times.
Bucket shitter and
fucking drug head.
Drug head.
You've never changed up. You've never switched up on me. You never got weird. You never.
I'm always weird.
You're weird in a good way.
Good.
You're weird in the charming, funny Kale way, but not in the freaking like.
Fuck you way.
Not in the like. I've made a complete personality change, weird way.
Yeah.
And I know you'd have my back in a second at the snap of the finger, and it's vice versa. And another thing with me is, like, I don't care too much if you, like, talk shit about me or, like, pick on me, like, random people. But, like, if you mess with my friends, that's a whole nother story. Like, don't mess with the people that I care about.
Best friends forever, forever. Think about the SpongeBob thing.
But that's true friendship. It really is. Like, when it comes down to it, you got each other's back no matter what, and you keep it real 100% no matter what. Like, nothing wavers that. Nothing changes. You don't switch up on each other. That's true, like, friendship at its core. And I've lost 2 other best friends in my life because because they switched up.
We've done so much together. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels nice to actually have some kind of platform we can talk about stuff.
Drugs took one of them away, and then mental shit took one of them away, and I tried so hard.
You're forgetting one more too.
But, well, I'm thinking of 2 specifically.
I know, but you know what I mean. Yeah, stand by.
Oh yeah, well,
kind of.
He's not as close,
but he's
there,
switched up.
But I'm thinking more. I'm thinking more these other 2 that I grew up with, literally that I grew up with, like junior high school years in my grade, and tried my best to help them when we were going through hard times. You can only do so much for people, guys. Like, until it's just like, man, you either gonna sink or you're gonna swim. And unfortunately, one of them I feel like sank. The other one is swimming barely. And at the end of the day, like, I don't wish anything bad to happen to these guys. I don't. I wish them nothing but the best. I just don't want anything to do with them anymore. And that's my story.
I was gonna say, I love all my friends. I would do a lot for my friends. Only thing I ask is if they do it back for me, and I have a hard time dealing with that because sometimes I don't. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I get that.
I'll drop. You know this from example, and I know some other people have. I will stop what I'm doing to come help whatever I can.
Well, I know when I've had like car problems in the past, you literally dropped what you were doing to come help me out, like in the Y parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I even drove all the way to Pierce to get tools and come back.
Yeah.
And I'll try my best.
Drove me around to get a new battery and shit, and it was like
installed the battery and put the new terminal on there and everything. Fuck, you've helped me do a lot of shit around the house.
Oh yeah.
I would like to get this pool out. But I could probably do that myself. I've I don't know how to go about this. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I guess over the years, there's just been things that have affected some groups I'm in.
Yeah.
Over stuff, and I'm not going to get into detail with that. I don't need to, and I don't want to, because I respect the people in those groups. Mm-hmm. I still talk to a lot of them. And that's just, not just real life. That's like video games and stuff, I am a firm believer in not burning bridges unless you really burn that bridge with me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too. I give too many second chances. I've said this before. I'm loyal to a fault almost with some people. I give them way too many second chances, but there comes a point where it's like you got to burn that bridge. And yeah, you bring up Standby and also Kansas.
Jesus Christ.
Same situation with both of them.
You try to
But honestly, Standby did it to himself.
Yeah.
He did it to himself.
Yeah. I try to give my best advice to my friends that I can. And if they take it, they take it. They don't, they don't. I just, my thing is I'm going to be blunt about it, as you would to me, right? So,
right.
I've been blessed with more people in my life that have came in my life the last 2 years, Braden and Craig and people at work. And, enjoy working with them to a certain extent.
Yeah.
For some, I'm not gonna, I think if they listen to this, they know who I'm probably gonna be talking about. 2 individuals. But I don't need to air out that laundry out here. I also try to, when I started my job, I guess I'll say, I had to build some of these friendships I have with some of my customers that I deliver to.
Yeah.
Because, they probably saw me, here's this young truck driver kid.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to just be a dipshit, and I made my mistakes. I did.
Yeah.
But it affected me. It bugged me. I've tried and fixed it, and I'm good now that I know of.
Yeah.
Even my main boss, I don't think I had a great start with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of hard to read at first and everything. But once you finally figure out how to get him to laugh and everything,
mm-hmm.
get to know him, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty old.
I've had a few bosses like that, or just people I've worked with in the past like that. Clients especially.
I feel like I became somewhat all right friends with Maya's coworkers.
Yeah.
I know I need to get better about going out and hanging out with them because I
mm-hmm.
say I don't, or I have something going on. And there's some areas I need to fix with that, recording earlier. Because look, it's getting dark and it's like, we're losing light. So like, fuck.
At least we're not getting rained on.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot, I'm glad that we're friends. It probably will be till the day we die, I hope.
That's the goal.
Again, a lot of people see us and they're like, how the fuck did this combo become friends?
Yeah, people will question that. They're like, it's funny, though. It's always a funny story to tell.
You just got to tell them some bullshit reason.
Yeah.
They just say, this fat kid just started falling around and won't stop falling around ever since.
He just started hitting me up one day and he won't shut the fuck up.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really got much else to say about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I love all my friends.
Yeah.
So.
Same.
I see we're about an hour in, so I mean, we got a new idea that's we're gonna test out. I mean, we can do it now, but if you have anything for it. So at the end of every episode, I think we're gonna do a thing called explosive rant. It could be about anything. It could be sports, life, job. It could be just anything, etc. One of us is gonna have a rant. I don't have anything this week, but you'll have at least 2 minutes to say what you want. Something that's been bugging you.
At least 2 minutes.
Yeah,
it's got to be at least 2 minutes long.
Yeah, because it'll be clipped in a short.
Okay.
So this is called explosive rant. Sam, got anything?
Gosh, I'm trying to think of something. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Great debut. I love it. Trying to think here. Nothing really been bugging
I'll have to start thinking of stuff for that. Because, yeah, that's... I don't know. There's not a lot that really, pisses me off.
It could be traffic. It could be, just the way people drive. It could be car problems. It could be life problems. It could
Honestly, if anything pisses me off, it's usually traffic and car problems.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on traffic.
Especially this past week in Minneapolis.
I can only imagine.
Traffic up there gets insane during the busy hours. Yeah. People getting off work and shit. So,
and also before we have him sign out, you guys like it when we're outside? I've been told a lot of people like it outside. Should we have more people come on when we're outside? We can probably work that out.
Yeah.
Got a little thing going on. Gonna be building actually a new area for us out here.
Yeah.
Just got to take a pool down and build the fucking area. So, that's where the friendship comes in. When I asked my buddy to come help me, my personal worker. You know, it's funny.
Free labor.
Jason at work, he's like, "You're gonna do that all by yourself, or something gets brought up?" I said, "What do you think I have Sam for?"
Yeah. Everyone's got to have a strong friend.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not strong. It's just one person doing it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know, laying brick down and
just gotta let me know.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get the stuff first.
Yeah.
So, all right, Sam Bam, sign out.
All right, Sam Bam, TNT faithfuls. Thanks for joining us today. We talked about some good topics tonight. Go on over to Agent Life Media. Check out all them other wonderful podcasts. I'm sure you'll love them. We're TNT Boys. We suck still, but we're getting better. And this is Sam from TNT Boys wishing you a very jolly good evening.
We'll see you next week.